Saitama is a hero for fun, and although he defeated many monsters, he realized that no one knows his name. No one knows who he is. That's why he and Genos decide to register and become legitimate heroes, and to do that, he has to pass the test prescribed by the state. Otherwise, he'll remain a weirdo. Genos scored 100 out of 100 points on the tests, and 70 is needed to pass, and enters Class S. Saitama, although stronger than Genos, scored only 40 points because he didn't do well on the writing test, but they let him pass anyway because he broke all the records on the physical test. Saitama ended up in a Class C. Even though Saitama is the strongest hero in the anime, the system, the Hero Association, labels him and places him among the weakest heroes. In this segment, which I've called Understanding the Matrix, I want to draw attention to the world we live in and what this world values, and what it values not. The world we live in is a world of form, not substance. People don't recognize each other based on their values, qualities, flaws or character, but exclusively on a superficial level determined by social status. That status is shown through classes and rankings in this anime. We see that even though Saitama is the strongest hero in the anime, no one recognizes his essence, only his status. This is best shown when we meet the hero called Atomic Samurai, who shakes hands with the heroes from Class S, because he is also in Class S, but refuses to shake hands with Saitama, saying he only recognizes strong people and will shake Saitama's hand when he becomes strong by his criteria, meaning when Saitama reaches Class S. This is a perfect illustration of how obsessed people are with form and how incapable they are of seeing substance. Atomic Samurai used the word recognize and claims not only that he can recognize, but that he exclusively recognizes strength, which is funny because standing in front of him is literally the strongest man in the entire universe. What Atomic Samurai actually recognizes is status, not strength. So it would be more accurate to say he recognizes status, not power. The reason he didn't say that is because he believes in the system, believes in rankings, believes in the matrix. He literally boxed himself in, and from that box he observes the world. The consequence of this is a completely logical and extremely limited, narrow-minded life, deprived of substance. And not only that, but such a life is also deprived of any possibility for substance to ever enter it. When it comes to the organization of heroes, we can see that even though it's made up of heroes who are supposed to be honorable, honest and dedicated to defeating evil, that's not really the case here. Many care more about status and position than about their actual work. For example, we have Fubuki, who is the #1 hero in Class B, recruiting other heroes from Class B like herself, and if they refuse, she breaks them and bullies them. There are the Tank Top brothers, who try to choose the stupidity and naivety of the crowd to belittle Saitama. Even though he saved the city from certain destruction by the meteor, but small pieces of the meteor still cause major damage to the city, damage that isn't irreparable, but damage nonetheless. They tell him he should give up on being a hero and retire, and everyone shouts this at him in unison. Only Bang recognizes Saitama's strength and thinks how sorry he is that Saitama has to face this unforgiving industry, believing that the best move Saitama can make at that moment is to give up and withdraw. High-ranking heroes often mock lower-ranking ones. We can also see apathy among many heroes who do it purely for popularity and self-promotions. When Sea King beat up most of the heroes and nearly killed every civilian in the shelter, Saitama defeated him with a single punch. But even so, the people started saying that monster wasn't that strong. If it were, Saitama couldn't have killed it with one punch. After that, the crowd began calling Saitama a fraud, claiming that other heroes are better than him and that he's taking credit for their work. Of course, Saitama doesn't justify himself to anyone. He doesn't care what others think, he doesn't judge others by class or rank, and he doesn't react to insults. No matter how good you are, when you work in the Matrix, you'll never be recognized, even if you're truly the best. Trying to grow within the Matrix or the system doesn't just require you to be strong and capable. You also need to stand up for yourself. Be aware that others will sabotage you, and make sure to highlight your own success, which Saitama doesn't do. It's one thing to master a skill, and quite another to build a career within the system. When Fubuki tries to teach him how important it is to join forces because people are stronger together and it's easier to advance, Saitama, after defeating her in battle, tells her, "You don't understand what it means to be a hero. The world is full of strong and bad people. Standing up to them is what heroes do, even if they do it alone, without anyone's help. You surround yourself with weaklings and kiss-asses and feel strong. Factions, crushing the noobs, ranking, none of that matters. Show respect to heroes." And he tells her that she is a poser. Everything Fubuki said sounds logical, but it's not true. From her perspective, quantity is stronger than quality, but from Saitama's perspective, which is objective, it's possible to succeed independently. Fubuki is surprised when she sees that S-Class hero King is at Saitama's apartment, as well as Genos, who is also S-Class, and that King is playing video games with Saitama. Genos notices that everyone comes to Saitama because Saitama doesn't judge anyone, not even King, who made it to Class S even though he has never killed a monster in his life. He was always present when Saitama defeated all the monsters, and since Saitama never reported his victories, the credit went to King, who received all the recognition for it. Saitama doesn't value people by status, class, ranks. He doesn't antagonize anyone, and he doesn't join groups. The only reason Saitama advances in the ranks is because eyewitnesses report the monsters he defeated. Saitama is the strongest because he deals with essence and has always been interested in essence. He never paid attention to form, while others are completely focused on form, entirely neglecting essence. And these characteristics make them all mediocrities, because they all want the same thing. Saitama teaches us that it is possible to live life without always seeking more, that you can overcome the rat race, that you can maintain your own values that are in line with objective truth, and even if nobody understands it, even if you must stand for it alone. Notice that Saitama is not disgusted by C-class heroes. He doesn't belittle it, he doesn't consider himself superior to it, but fully respects it because he is aware of the paperwork the Class C has to do. We see this when Saitama meets Moomin Rider. When Moomin Rider tells him his Class C, rank 1, and that Saitama is free to laugh at him for that. Saitama doesn't understand what is there to laugh about, and gives credit to Class C and for the paperwork that only they, Class C heroes, have to do, which is hard work. He gives his appreciation. So, when you have essence, when you have your center, when you're on your original line, then you have confidence, you are grounded because you live the truth. You are aware of it, and nothing and no one can shake you. But when you're not connected with yourself and your essence, then you focus on external things, give them essential value they don't actually have, lose sight of what's truly important in life, and live a shallow, meaningless and foolish life in which you are the biggest loser, even though it may not look like that formally on the surface. Remember the battle between heroes and the aliens, when the alien appears who can multiply and regenerate at incredible speed, no matter how many times they kill him. We see heroes who are more than exhausted as they fight this alien, but no matter how many times they defeat him, he regenerates and comes back to life. Only when they found the crystal orb in the center of his head, around which he regenerates and destroyed it, were they able to defeat him for good. This is a representation of programs and toxic beliefs we have in life. No matter how much you try to change your life on the surface level, by going to seminars, changing habits, buying clothes, to step into a new identity, talking in psychotherapy about your problems and traumas from the past. As long as you try to fight your demons on the surface, they will keep regenerating and multiplying, and you will become more and more exhausted until you eventually collapse. This was exactly the alien strategy, to let the heroes fight him until they lost all of their energy, and then, when they are tired and weak, he could finish them off. Real change and real situations are achieved only when you remove the cause that allow demons, which stand for toxic programs and limiting beliefs, to multiply in your life. The cause lies in your core emotions. which originated in your past, in your childhood. Soul Attack experience is a skill that enables the practitioners to go deep within themselves, into their subconscious, into their memories, to find a moment in the past when they first experienced that toxic belief or emotion and to clear it from their system. The consequence of this is a connection with your essence and setting goals and decisions based on your life original line. That is your soul, which we talked about in the first part of the video.